The Adventures of Toto. Children, this is a humorous and adventurous story of a naughty monkey, and the name of the monkey is Toto. The writer's grandfather bought the monkey from a Tonga driver, and the prank played by Toto have been narrated in an interesting way and make the story a must read for us. We have to read this interesting story, right? Let's start the story. Grandfather bought Toto from a Tonga driver from the sum of 5 rupees. The Tonga driver used to keep the little red monkey tied in a feeding trough, and the monkey looked out of place there that grandfather decided he would add the little fellow in his private zoo. Now, the writer's grandfather purchased a monkey, and the name was Toto from a Tonga driver by paying 5 rupees to him. The Tonga driver had tied the little red colored monkey to a feeding trough, and so that he could not run away. When the writer's grandfather saw the monkey, he had desired to add him in the collection of animals which he had in his zoo at home. Toto was pretty monkey. His bright eyes sparkled and mischief beneath deep-set eyebrows, and his teeth, which were a pearly white, were very often displayed in a smile that frightened the life out of elderly Anglo-Indian ladies. But his hands looked dried up as though they had been pegged in the sun for many years. Yet the fingers were quick and wicked, and his tail, while adding to his good looks, also served as a third hand. He could use it to hang from a branch, and it was capable of scooping up any delicacy that might be out of reach of his hand. So the writer gives the description of Toto. He had bright, shiny eyes which were full of mischief. The eyebrows were deeply set on his face, and his teeth were like pearls. Many ladies belonging to the Anglo-Indian community got scared when they saw his teeth, which were displayed when he smiled. So Toto's hands were dry and wrinkled as if they had been dried in the sun, and like pickled vegetables. He had a long tail. The writer's grandfather thought that the tail added to the good looks of an animal. Toto tail was like a third hand for him. He helped him hang from the branch of tree. He also used to lift objects which were beyond his hand's reach. Grandmother, always fussed from grandfather, brought him some new bird or animal. So it was decided that Toto's present should be kept a secret from her until she was a particularly good mood. Grandfather and I put him away in a little closet opening into the bedroom wall, where he has tied securely. So we thought to a peg fastened into the wall. So the writer's grandmother was against the grandfather's attitude of bringing new pets, birds and animals. So the grandfather thought that they would conceal this fact from her until she was in a good mood. So at that time they would disclose this to her. The writer and his grandfather secured Toto in a little cupboard in the writer's room. In order to be secure that Toto did not escape, they tied him into a hook in a wall. A few hours later, when grandfather and I came back to release Toto, we found that the walls, which had been covered with some ornamental paper chosen by grandfather, now stood out as a nagged brick and plaster. The peg in the wall had been wrenched from the socket, and my new school blazer, which had been hanging there, was in shreds. I wondered what grandfather would say, but grandfather didn't worry. He seemed pleased with Toto's performance. Now the writer and his grandfather went to Toto after a few hours, and the sight was shocking. Toto had torn the decorative wallpaper, he had broken the hook, and he escaped from his binding. Also, he tore the writer's blazer into thin pieces. He is clever, said grandfather. Given him, I am sure he could have tied the torn pieces of your blazer into a rope and made his escape from the window. The grandfather was quite delighted to see Toto's adventure. He felt that Toto was very clever, and he said that if they would have given him more time, he would have tied the thin pieces of the writer's torn blazer into a rope and would have escaped out of the window. His presence of the house still a secret, Toto was now transferred to a big cage in the servants' quarters where a number of grandfather's pets lived very sociably together. A tortoise, a pair of rabbits, a tame squirrel, and for a while my pet goat. But the monkey wouldn't allow any of his companions to sleep at night. So grandfather, who had to leave Dehradun next day to collect his pension in Saharanpur, decided to take him along. Now what happened? Toto was now shifted to the servant quarter and he was put in a cage. He would live with the other pets in grandfather's zoo. The zoo comprised of a tortoise, a pair of rabbits, squirrel, and writer's pet goat. Toto was very mischief. He did not let the animals sleep at night. So the writer's grandfather had to leave for Saharanpur the next day. So he decided to take Toto along as he was unmanageable. Unfortunately, I could not accompany grandfather on that trip, but he told me about it afterwards. A big black canvas kit bag was provided for Toto. This, with some straw at the bottom, became his new abode. When the bag was closed, there was no escape. Toto could not get his hands through the opening, and the canvas was too strong for him to bite his way through. His efforts to get out only had the effect of making the bag roll about on the floor or occasionally jump into the air. An exhibition that attracted a curious crowd of onlookers on the Dehradun railway station. Now what happened? The writer was disappointed as he could not accompany his grandfather and Toto on the trip. His grandfather narrated the happenings of the trip to him later. He had got a special bag for Toto. It was made of strong material canvas and he placed some dry grass at the bottom of the bag. And on the trip, the bag would be Toto's home as he would live in it. The bag was zipper on the top of it, and the writer's grandfather ensured that when the bag was closed, Toto would not be able to escape out of it. Neither could come out of the opening as it was closed with a zipper, nor could we bite the strong canvas material in order to run away. Still, Toto made unsuccessful attempts to come out of the bag. Due to this, many times the bag would roll on the floor or it would certainly jump in the air. And these movements were noticed by the people on the railway station and made them curious to know what is inside the bag. Toto remained in the bag as far as Saharanpur, but while grandfather was producing his ticket at the railway turnstile, Toto suddenly poked his head out of the bag and gave the ticket collector a wide grin. Now, what happened? Toto remained secured in the grandfather's bag till Saharanpur. At the Saharanpur railway station, the writer's grandfather was taking out of his ticket to cross the turnstile. At that time, Toto peeked out of the bag and smiled at the ticket collector. The poor man was taken aback, but the great presence of mind and much of grandfather's annoyance, he said, "Sir, you have a dog with you. You will have to pay for it accordingly." Now what happened? The ticket collector was astonished to see the monkey in grandfather's bag, and he recovered quickly and asked grandfather to pay the ticket money for the traveling with the dog. In vain did grandfather take out Toto out of the bag in vain did he try to prove that monkey did not qualify as a dog or even as a quadruped. Toto was classified a dog by the ticket collector and 3 rupees with a sum handed over as his fare. Now the grandfather was unsuccessful in explaining to the ticket collector that Toto was a monkey and not a dog. He insisted that Toto was not even an animal for 4 feet, but the ticket collector was firm that Toto fell in the category of dogs and grandfather had to pay 3 rupees for Toto's ticket. Then grandfather, just to get his own bag, took from his pocket or pet tortoise and said, "What must I pay for this, since you charge for all animals?" Now grandfather was disappointed, and in order to take revenge from the ticket collector, he took out his pet tortoise from his pocket and he asked if he was supposed to buy a ticket for it too. The ticket collector looked closely at the tortoise, prodded it with his 4 fingers, gave grandfather a pleased and triumphant look and said, "No charge. It's not a dog." Now the ticket collector took a close look at the tortoise and pushed it slightly and announced that grandfather was not required to buy a ticket for it, as it did not fall in the category of a dog. When Toto was finally accepted by grandmother, he was given a comfortable home in the stable, where he had for a company of a family donkey, Nana. On Toto's first night in the stable, grandfather paid him a visit to see if he was comfortable. To his surprise, he found Nana without apparent cause, pulling at her halter and trying to keep her head as far as possible from the bundle of hay. Now, the writer's grandmother finally came to know of the Toto's presence in the house, and she allotted him space in the stable along with the family donkey Nana. On the first night in the stable, grandfather visited Toto and he found that Nana was restless, pulling its rope in order to stay away from the heap of hay.